And it seems like this time going to be no different, despite Red Green Luffy and Green Mihawk being very potent in the new meta. Purple NL, I mean, he's always going to be very powerful as long as people aren't directly targeting him with things like Black Yellow Teach, which I'm still surprised hasn't really had a very good showing.
No, fully agreed. Well, the good news is you can get some very high level commentary here. Uh, we have a lot of experience with the Enel mirror from various points in time, so this should be a good showing. If you're here to learn something today, I hope you will be very pleasantly surprised. We see one Enel not having to mulligan, and the other does, which is not a good sign, as this is a very volatile mirror, and failure to see weenies early can almost certainly just end the game
Yeah,
immediately. So
yeah.
could all
And
be over already.
final poll
Who
of the
wins?
Wave 1.
NL!
Left NL or right NL? Extremely dominant showing right now from left NL in the poll. 67% right now versus 33%. Who's it going to be? The alt art for left NL is going to be very commanding right now. We also see that he has a small marker in the corner, which said he's going to be going first, so maybe swaying the poll a little bit here. 73%, 71% for left NL. I guess these shiny cards are doing it, and not the fact that he was able to go first in this matchup. And seems like people are voting more with logic rather than their hearts, as Purple NL is most likely going to be the winner of the Tokyo Championship. Ooh, but right
All
NL,
right, we got Reynolds versus Lennel.
yeah, lots of early one costs in hand.
Very good hand. But actually, no, Enel is kind of dodgy. I would say that's a solid 8 out of 10 hand, but the Lennel left Enel has seen an immaculate hand, having a Shura to rush into the opposing weenies if he dares to swing them, and having the Enel on curve. So what we will actually most likely see here is the starve strategy, with neither Enel swinging too early. We also see the pudding coming down here first in order to preserve that one rested Dawn. We also see the Mamaragon being grabbed here 100% of the time. And because he's preserved that Dawn, next turn he can boost into an early Reiju if he so wishes.
Yeah,
And I can't keep doing that forever, I'll die. So I'm gonna slow down.
no, it's fine. Does end up bottling that one of those rages from that search, so it does, technically speaking, reduce the odds of finding one more, as there's only presumably 3 more left in the deck. But still, just leaving that option open is going to be better than just slamming down a character that's going to draw 1 card anyways. And doesn't draw, but does find that second Mamaragang. Both these guys, interestingly, Renal decides to only drop down 1 cost for now.
Yeah, so by doing that, we've got the exact same logic. Next
Yep.
turn, he will go to 3, use Leader Effect to gain 1 active Dawn, and play a Reiju of his own. And the Lennel, having missed his Reiju on curve, means that Renel will have the first big body on the field, demanding the first answer from the opposing Enel.
Yeah, the exact same thing happened 2 days ago when we had a Mihawk mirror in the finals. But I was just saying green shirt Mihawk and white shirt Mihawk. I should have just said Rehawk and Leehawk. So that feels a little bit too close to a bad word. Maybe I shouldn't say that. But yeah, importantly,
It's pretty far removed, but I get it.
yeah, I can see that being with my Japanese ability to stumble L's and R's sometimes problematic. But
Okay, yeah, let's not. Let's not.
yeah,
But we actually see the Reiju.
yeah, and that's going
Uh,
to be the swing from Shura, just expanding his board because he didn't have that Razor early on, just
hmm.
pumping some damage in the opponent's leader. And also using the Mamaragang early to get rid of that Satori, just to make sure that he won't be able to attach Dong to it on the next turn either, nor get that on-attack effect.
Yeah, this is actually really interesting. So what we're seeing here is a totally different playstyle of Enel to what we'd see at the West. The very infamous game between, I believe it was Mirko and Jonas at the very high level, where neither of them swung for 5 turns, which really set the entire pacing of the Enel matchup, making good use of the Senor Pink. Senor Pink having never caught up in Japan even now, which is very interesting. And because the Renal is so behind on board, he just has to play out these one drops. Even though he'd love to get that Reiju on the board, he's just getting swarmed right now. And if he doesn't do something
Mm.
about it, he's just going to be completely overrun.
Yeah, unfortunately, did have one of the benefits of going second over the opponent, just not being able to play that Reiju on what should have been his 3 dong turn. Does sacrifice it just to play out these 1 costs because he needs to wrestle back board control. Would you rest these Shiras right now to get rid of the opponent's characters? I think surely not with the
God
number of
no.
characters.
So the thing is, if the Enel plays a big Enel or anybody whatsoever next turn, the turn after, they will need to play over Nevermind, their own weenie, basically doing your job for you. However, as long as he doesn't rest the Shura, we're fine.
Well, there's already Dong on it.
Oh please,
Never let them
sir.
know your next move.
Never let them know your next move.
It's
He could
the
also be going for a starve here, potentially trying to no.
it's gonna be the 4 into the pudding. And that's probably going to indicate the other Shida's going to be rested as well. Maybe he wants to hold on to that just to have something to use next turn as an attacker. Oh yeah.
Interesting, interesting.
Elthor, wow,
So we see,
this intense weenie hate going on right now.
yeah. So basically, skipping the first few
Whoa.
steps and going straight to absolute annihilation.
Yeah, both
Uh,
Elthors. That's crazy. So
we will see the big punish here, though. We will see the establishment of the big NL followed by the Shura, which will, if an Elthor is not found, result in a full clear back with a big NL being established, which is one of the hardest positions to come out of in the mirror.
uh, yeah, I mean, I think that's probably just the best play. Oh, it does seem like he's going for leader. It's this is very confusing to me because I feel like the both Enel players have committed to clearing the opponent's board early on. R, the left Enel, which is very confusing considering that his name is R, using the Mamaragang early on to get rid of that Satori on the early turn, but deciding to go for leader on this attack, just ignoring the 1 cost now, even though he has a pretty reasonable way of getting rid of them. And Mu, our right side Enel, is doing everything in his power to get rid of those weenies and just not let him find that aggressive angle, using 2
Yeah,
Elthors
it's
in the
so
process.
interesting. So I think the most interesting part of this, Kai, you know when you told me that I play NL differently to Japanese players,
Hmm.
I'm starting to believe you finally.
Oh, dude.
This has been such a learning experience seeing somehow the same deck but with such a different playstyle, both in the aggression and the swarming potential. It's
Yeah.
really quite interesting to see.
You know, for people who don't know, which I assume is most of you, Simon, or sorry, Deva, my friend
No, it's
here,
fine, it's fine.
yeah, is one of my primary testing partners. He's one of the best Purple Enel players that I know. And when I play against him playing Purple Enel, he does not play like any of the Purple Enels that I play against in Japan. It almost feels like it shouldn't be good practice because he just plays differently from every single Enel that I play against in Japan. And we're seeing the difference. You know, we saw in the West these Enel players starving each other, and this matchup, the Enels could not be more aggressive.
Yeah, we see non-stop swings from both sides. Caution to the wind. We see actually Senor Pink on the left R Enel, which is quite interesting. But so far, we see nothing like that from the Enel on the right. Instead, playing a more traditional build, focusing mainly on the Reiju.
Mhm.
Fortunately, for the right Enel, those Shures were not cleared, which means the Gamma Knife plus Kiten plus Reiju plus Momoragon combo will result in the Enel having to remove the left Enel, having to remove 4 cards from his hand to keep that big Enel alive. Not
Yeah.
clearing those Shures, I think, was a huge mistake, which opens him up to probably the biggest punish possible.
Yeah, and I'm glad that he's actually going for this because time and time again, we see so many purple NLs fall into the trap where they just feel like they're obligated to establish that 6 cost NL first and foremost. But neglecting that game plan, instead deciding to go for this Razor early on to clear out this 6 cost NL and try to make his board more powerful instead of playing 1 foot behind, is going to give him a little bit of footing in this game, especially looking at left Enel R's hand, where he does not have a second 6 cost Enel to be able to uh, rebounce back his board.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that I bet all my aura on that exact combination and order of those four cards, because now we see with a active Don put on leader and for rested Don put onto those Shura, it'll be two swings of 6,000 into that Enel, which is currently 4,000, requiring an absolutely insane amount of counter. Specifically, an Elthor and a Mamaragon, which could have been used to full clear the board instead. For some reason, deciding to attack leader. Instead with that 5k swing, a very interesting choice, which I think has come back to haunt him in a big way right now.
Yeah. And seems to just be using the Mamaragang as a cycle. Even could use that extra Shida attack to just permanently clear these one costs on the board. Does seem to be his game plan at this point, as he committed to early on with those Elthors. But still, going to start with the 6k at, I believe, to be the 6 cost Enel. Just as you mentioned, 6/6, and then maybe 2 into the pudding just to get as much counter as possible. In which case, I feel like you might as well just attack into the pudding first, but doesn't make a massive difference. Purple NL is going to start with that Mamaragang. Draw one card, does find another Mamaragang.
Interesting choice. This is where it's going to be really dodgy if we see another Elthor or another Keyten, just stacking the commitment required to keep that Enel alive. But it looks like it is just going to be the 6/6, juicing the hand size so much.
Yeah, I think right now he's debating whether he wants to put down one more one cost on the board, but I think that making this attack a 6 instead of a 5 is very relevant, just because it's so much easier to defend a 6 when your character or leader's name is Enel, or plus 1,000 power. Or,
100%.
yeah. So by going for the 6 into the 4,000 power, now this requires 2 cards out of hand, which he does have, but do you really want to go this low in hand early on?
Yep. Using that many Mamaragons as well means that next turn, if the right NL uses an NL, a 6 cost, that it cannot be comboed, having to forfeit not only the combo, and I just can't help but think that it was a bit of a blunder.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if R wanted to play this way, then he had to keep clearing out those one costs like he did on that second turn. But kind of trying to play towards both plans is going to put the left turn, sorry, right turn, NL down to
Right
2
turn.
life. um, but I mean, being at 2 life doesn't mean all too much when you only have 4, oh no, sorry, 5 cards in hand? Oh no, 6, because of the Mamaragons. Uh, I don't know. It's a little bit awkward, isn't it?
It's still not too bad. The Senior Pink here can be used with that Gamma Knife into Mamaragon combo,
Mm.
alongside
Ooh.
ing an Elthor.
Yeah, and the
I think there's
Reiji isn't
definitely
at 7,000
potential.
yet.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's
so
a good point.
actually, I know the Senior Pink is much better than I thought it would be then.
Yeah, but instead, what are not using the Gamma Knife on the Raichu. Instead, just trying to cycle and reestablish his board, which I think is very fair under the assumption that you're being starved, which you are. It's very reasonable here just to go for the Elthor into the Shura, into leader swing into the other, and then force the opponent to attack into your life and equalize the board state. I think he's definitely made the right move here, even if he was unfortunately put on the back foot earlier.
Mhm. Yeah, just taking the turn to recongregate, just force the opponent to hit into your leader so that you can get a couple of cards back into your hand. Because right now, even though the Enel on the right side is at 2 life, does have a lot of cards in hand to just give him more options in the turns to come. So,
I'm actually silly. He did use the Gamma Knife. He just did it in a different order.
ah,
Whoops. Let's see if he does it
you
again
good.
though, and leaves the Shura on the field. This is so classic Enel. It's actually amazing to see. Like, it just feels like this was a format frozen in time with just the Enels clearing each other's full board, going full throttle, reminding me of the very early days where everyone was just testing and just throwing hands with each other at like full speed.
I mean, I think, have you seen the Twitter meme with the Enel mirror where they're both dancing in each other's faces?
I think I did. I think that
Yeah.
was that Vampire that
I'm
made
not,
that.
I
That,
don't
that
remember if it was him. Yeah. But I
was
saw it on
beautiful.
Twitter. Yeah. And I feel like that applies to both the Western style and the Eastern style where they're both throwing hands or they're both just sitting there waiting for the opponent to do something else and doing it right back at them. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I mean, so despite
Reminds
everything
me
that
of
we've
the
said,
blocker now coming out now. Mm.
yeah, R is still going to be in the driver's seat right now, just being able to protect that 6-cost Enel the turn before, and having a pretty commanding board with that Senior Pink on the board as well. But I mean, has been giving opportunities for the Enel on the right side to claw his way back in. Now has to decide if
I
he
think
wants to
this
play
does
down.
confirm a hit on the ban list for Ronaldo, unfortunately. Don't think this is what Bandai wanted to see. Or at least I feel like players are starting to get a bit sick of seeing this deck in this amount of numbers at this high a level to this extent.
Yeah, I think if they were to ban something from the NL deck, what would you ban?
I think it has to be Momorogon, but I think a pair ban honestly would be fine. I think it's really cool, especially with the new Kaido coming out, that will do some really awesome synergy with Momorogon.
Awesome, you
But
say.
as we can see here, Gamma Knife doesn't necessarily be the main issue. Uh, while it is the combo of the two cards, I feel like either a ban of Gamma Knife or a pair ban of Momorogon in Enel would be enough to cripple the deck to where it's still hard to beat, but not ridiculously unfair.
Yeah, I think before OP16, where we had things like Proprio Roshinante, or now with Kaido potentially using the card as well, I would have said to just get rid of Gamma Knife. It's a common, or it's an uncommon card. Feels very low risk to get rid of that card, especially considering that it's going to be rotating out relatively soon anyways, being from OP05. But because Proprio Roshinante can use the card so well, because Kaido presumably can use the card so well, it feels like the card has a bunch of unintended side effects just by being able to rest a card very easily based on power. So I think that, I mean, rather than a pair ban, I think it'd make sense to just get rid of the card entirely, despite the card being a SR.
Yeah, but it's really fun.
It
As
is
a
really
purple
fun.
enjoyer, Mabaraka is a really fun card. Especially doing some wacky combos like with the purple Straw Hat stuff, using Gum Gum Giant into Mabarogon for like the maximum value possible. I feel like it can be really unfair, but in a fun way. But I also definitely get what you mean. And unfortunately, I think Mabarogon will be on the chopping block. We will have to see how it goes with Gamma Knife. But I think those two are the problem cards.
Yeah. Yeah, and although Gamma Knife was reprinted in PRB, because it's a Block 2 card, it wasn't actually extended in the extra regulation or standard regulation. The only cards that were given that luxury were the Block 1 cards that were reprinted in that set. So that card is going to be rotating out within the year, which,
That's very true. That's very true.
yeah, so will definitely take a lot of power out of this power-based control playstyle that Purple tends to be leaning towards recently. But getting back into the game, though, R
Yeah,
is
getting
just
back into the
taking
game.
a very aggressive angle right now. Didn't have great characters to play onto the board, so is just going to be attaching a bunch of Dong onto the character's leader. Does still have one Dong active that can be used for Shida, for example. Oh yeah, isn't even going for the Shida. He's just
He
going
just
to
wins.
attach.
He just
What the
wins.
hell?
Never mind.
What the hell?
We got too
No, you
lost in
just.
the sauce.
This is usually the rebuilding stage, and then R out of nowhere just thinks like, "Wait, you're cooked, aren't you?" And then just swing for the massive 16,000. Could even be more with Althor's. We weren't even paying much attention.
17,000.
Yes, 17,000. That's completely our bad, but going to be a decisive victory. Wasn't even close.